Let's talk about projection, okay? Princella is a master projector, okay? This is what really wounded people do if they've never done any sort of healing journey. They project everything onto other people in order to make other people feel ashamed and feel bad about who they are because they haven't actually dealt with their own shame. Within all of Princella's lives, you can see her confessing to you who she really is because everything she's saying is a projection. Earlier today in her live, I'm not going to make speculations, but I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. She was attacking women, saying that y'all have been touching men since you were 12. Y'all have been kissing boys under the bleachers since you were a child. Y'all can't keep men's dicks out of your mouth. The thing is about Princella, because of who I found out that she actually is, with her having 7 fucking abortions and getting impregnated within 2 months of knowing a strange man, everything she says is a projection and a confession of her own life story, okay? She's not doing this out of the kindness of her heart and sharing her life experiences and trying to get sympathy. Instead, what she's doing is she's projecting everything onto her viewers so that y'all feel the same pain and the same shame that she feels. She's sending it your way, okay? She likes to siphon people's energy and she likes to drop her negative energy onto other people, okay? That's who she is as a person. A few weeks ago when I went on that live with Princella, before I even turned my camera on, the first thing that she says to me, I'm saying hi like a normal, polite person. First thing that she says to me is something relating to, is your house a mess? And I'm just like, this is a grown-ass woman, by the way, 39 years old. I thought we were having a discussion like two adults, right? Because I clocked that. I was like, oh, like she's projecting about her own living environment. Everything Princella says is a projection of her own life experiences and of how she feels about herself, okay? So when she comes on her lives and says, you guys are fucking hoes, you're this, you're that, you're third, that was her life, okay? That was her life. That's who she was. When she talks about women being pick-me's, it's because she was a pick-me, okay? Nobody picked her, though. People were manipulating her and hurting her and breaking her. So instead of her going to therapy and dealing with her issues and dealing with her problems, she jumps from relationship to relationship because she has a codependency problem. She's jumped from men to men to men, and then she's now jumping from women to women, going from B. Taylor straight to Jasmine. Maybe there was another one. There also was the SA victim that came forward. She doesn't know how to be alone, all right? Because you can't be alone with yourself if you hate yourself. That's actual reality. That's why a lot of people can't be alone with themselves, because they haven't faced all like the hard things about themselves, all the fucked up things about themselves, and all the shitty situations that they have in fact put themselves through. Princella talks about how she ran away from home, so I'm sure there was some things that went on in her life when she was a kid, and I'm not using any of this against her, by the way. I'm just explaining to y'all what projectors do. These are negative projectors, okay? Who she is as a person. When I went on live with her a few weeks ago, I saw how insecure and how much pain she actually is going through, and she's never actually dealt with it. Yeah, because at 39 years old, her trying to have like the victim Olympics with me on a TikTok live, I'm 30, okay? But I've also dealt with a lot of my shit, okay? I'm not a perfect individual. I'm not perfectly healed, but I've dealt with my victim mentality 5 years ago, okay, when I became sober. So I went through that fucked up healing part that she's never gone through, and I don't know when she ever will, or if she ever will. She has a really big, inflated ego, right? A very fragile, disgusting ego. Because she was unloading all of her trauma on that live for no fucking reason, right? I just let her talk. I was like, oh, okay. I think she expected me to go back and forth with her and be like, but this happened to me, but this happened. I'm not going to do that with people like that. I'm not going to go into the victim Olympics with people. 2 reasons. Don't tell people your fucking trauma, because people like that will use it against you. For another reason is because there's no winning with people like that. They're trying to outcompete you already. Let them have it. Let them have it. Let them show who they are, because all she did was show me is that she's a broken individual who's never done any sort of healing work. And it really just shows in how she acts, in how she talks on her lives, and how she talks to her followers, that she's never done any sort of healing work, okay? She is a projector. She is a projector. She's projecting her pain onto everybody in society. She's projecting her pain onto every single partner that she has, because she hasn't dealt with her really fucked up wounds. I'm assuming this started in her childhood, because she, like I said, she mentioned something about y'all did this because you're 12 years old. So I'm assuming something happened to her around then. And if it did, she needs to deal with that, okay? If you don't deal with you being a victim, you're probably going to end up being a fucking predator, which is something that we're seeing right now. And maybe it's a good thing that I'm calling her out right now. Maybe it's a good thing that we're catching it early before she goes too fucking young, right? Princella is a broken ass individual, and I don't have to compete with broken ass people, all right?